I'm good, thank you.
Good, great to see you. So I was just saying, we'll need a blanket, a couple of cushions or a bolster if you happen to have one, and a block as well to hand. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to start, as I said, in seated. So if you can make your blanket sort of as long as possible, so we've made this sort of almost like a scarf type shape. And then I'm going to fold it through the center. So I'll put my hand there and fold it over. So I'm kind of going to make like a little bit of a bow shape. So almost like one of those little lapel badges you sometimes get, sort of like that, or a croissant maybe. Okay. And then we're going to use that to sit onto. So I'll have a little bit of elevation for the sitting bones, and then hopefully the backs of the thighs sort of rest onto the slanty bit of the blanket. And you can have it one foot in and then the other foot in front, or if you feel more comfortable with the ankles crossed, that could be nice as well. But the idea is that we just have a little bit of propping for the hips. And once you've established that, you might take a little wiggle and a shift just to get a sense of the spine being nice and upright and supported through the natural curves of it. And then let's take a moment to just bring one hand to the center of the chest and the other hand onto the belly. See if you can drop your weight back into your sitting bones a little bit more. You feel a slight length coming into the lower back space. See if you can at the same time feel a little bit of a lift and lengthening through the base of the back of the neck. This might bring your chin slightly in and down. Maybe you feel a sense that the center point of the head is reaching upwards. You can either stay with the eyes open or maybe take a moment to close them. As we just start to draw your awareness inwards into your inner space. So restorative yoga is a place to cultivate that sense of being as interested in what's going on inside of you as you are of what is going on in the external world. As you're here and you begin that little line of inquiry inwards, just noticing maybe first the felt sensation of the breath. Notice if you feel it and where you feel it. Begin and end as a movement in your body. Is it that you feel the lower hand rise first or the upper hand? Maybe they both move together. See if you can soften the shoulders a little bit more. And notice if there's any points of the body that have just started to take on a little bit of tension from your seated position. See if you can bring your awareness into those spaces. And then consciously inviting kind of release. Maybe through the exhale. See if you can tune in a little bit deeper now to the subtle sensations that are happening alongside the breath. So little movements. Maybe even the heartbeat underneath that top hand. Gently soften your hands and just take them onto your thighs. You can rest them palms down. You can just gently lower the gaze towards the earth, so the eyes might slowly close, and then just start to blink the eyes open. First thing you kind of take in is your legs, the ground in front of you. And just bring your head back up through to center. We're going to just change the crossing of the legs just for a sense of balance through the body. So we'll be in seated just for another little while. So just changing. Just notice how that feels. Probably a little bit different. You may need to adjust the sitting bones once again. And then with your left hand, just take your fingertips around the outside of that left ear. So you're kind of grasping the whole side of the head. And you might even feel into sort of that bony ridge at the base of the skull there. So we're trying to bring our hand all across this temporalis muscle, right? Side of the head muscle. You might give your that base of the skull just a little bit of almost like a little squeeze or a massage, circular movements with the fingertips. So you're there. And then you might feel the head just gently relaxing towards the side of the arm that's bent, the left side. And see if you can soften into the top of your right shoulder a little bit more. And if it feels good, you could continue with a little bit of movement through the fingers, just kind of exploring any tension you might be holding on the side of the head. Or you could just hold the head in stillness here and feel the stretch down through the side of the neck. Take a couple of breaths into the belly. And then gently release the hand down. Bring the head back up through to center. And just allow the sort of muscles to bounce back there. And just feel the sensations down that side of the neck. Take both hands now. You're going to make little sort of grippy fingers, almost like little kind of crab claws. And take them around the tops of your shoulders. Yeah, lift both elbows nice and high. See if you can grip onto, so it's the top of the trapezius muscle there. So you might feel it kind of like three-dimensional shape muscle at the top of the shoulder. And then you're going to draw down with one arm. So you're sort of bringing that fleshy part of the top of the shoulder down with you. And then alternate one side to the other. Yeah, sort of squeezing that muscle as you go, gently. Right. Could be that there's a little bit of tenderness here. Just do a few rounds of that, just kind of releasing those muscles around the neck. Good. Let's just do a couple more, just like that. For any tension, you can move the hands around a little bit as well, kind of exploring the musculature on your own body. And gently release. Take a moment to soften, and then we'll take the right hand across to the outside edge of the left side of the head. So again, just feeling for that kind of bony ridge there. So there's all these beautiful attachment points of the muscles here. And just kind of working into it a little bit with your fingertips, just gently releasing. Those muscles that might be tight, or it might be just feels totally fine and normal. Both are possible. And then just allow that right ear to drop a little bit more towards the right shoulder and relax the top of the left shoulder. And just this side maybe feels a little bit different. It's perfectly natural that it would. We tend to always be working one side more than the other, favoring one side. Seeing if you can draw that breath right down deep into the belly. And gently we'll release. Bring the head back up through to center. And again, just take a moment here. Soften the shoulders. Nice. Okay, take a moment to just stretch the legs out. And if you feel like just giving them a little bit of a wiggle or a rotation of the ankles, it might feel nice just to release after having been sat there for a little while. Great. And then we're gonna sit up for our first reclined pose. So go ahead and take either your cushions. So I'll show you both ways, just in case you don't have a bolster. So if you have your cushions, you might kind of line them up together. And it could be nice to just place a blanket on top of them to kind of keep them in that one sort of shape so they're not sort of sliding apart. A little lift. And then take your block or your book and you're going to place it to the top edge of the bolster or the cushions there. And then we'll come to sit with the lower back just about half an inch away from the edge of that cushion or bolster. And then just start to recline yourself back nice and slow till you reach the point where you can adjust your block so that it just gently props up the base of the head, right? That sort of, again, that kind of bridge at the base of the head. So you feel sort of stretch through the back of the neck. You might feel like the chin is slightly in. And then adjust your hips so that you feel as though the tops of the hips are sliding down, so that fleshy part feels smooth. And then you can take the soles of the feet together, allow the knees to drop out wide. If that becomes like a bit too stretchy, because we will be here for a little while, you can just extend the legs straight. Take a moment to adjust the shoulders, maybe away from the ears. So again, we're looking for as much space through the joints in the body, and to allow the body to feel as supported as possible so that you can really focus on the subtlety of sensation as we rest here. So we allow the body to come to a place where there need be no movement, no effort. So the body can completely relax. Deep sense of relaxation that allows the mind to become a little bit quieter, allows the breath to take on a natural rhythm. Allows you to create space to restore your energy, replenishing your own inner resources, giving yourself the gift of time. Time that you feel you have no place to go, you have nothing to do except to be fully present with your body in this moment. Wherever your attention is going, just gently starting to bring it back to your breath. And begin a little bit of movement, just slowly stirring the body, trying to maintain this kind of sense of rest. So if your legs are out wide, you might slide the hands down to the outer edges of the legs and just kind of assist them back in. And then we'll roll to the side, taking a little moment for pause when you're on your side. And then stretch your top leg long. You can assist yourself, pressing yourself up from the ground, nice and easily. For our next setup, I'm going to, if you're using cushions today, we're going to maybe stack the cushions so you have a little bit more height. Otherwise, you're using your bolster. And then with your blanket, we're going to fold it up and make a little kind of a small square pillow shape. And if you have your block or a book, see how this feels. You can decide whether you like it or not. If it's a book, it might feel uncomfortable. Otherwise, we're taking the break in between the thighs, and it's just going to create a little bit of space between the hips. And you'll be sitting to your side. Let's start on the right side, just for ease of explanation. And it might be that you sort of hook that bottom foot around the top ankle, if that feels nice. And then you're going to use the cushions as a way to create extension through the side body. So this will give you a little lift, or the bolster, right? And the pillow is just going to support the head. So you stretch the bottom arm long. You'll rest the head onto the cushion. So you should feel a little bit of space between the legs and a sense of space through the side of the body from the lift of the cushions. Palm of the extended arm is down. And then it could be that you take the top arm and extend it all the way over to meet the bottom arm together. Feeling like that stretch all the way through the side of the body. Like I'm squashing the mic. So we're opening out the ribs. So it might be that you feel, so you're breathing a little bit more into the side ribs. As a consequence, you'll feel the lower ribs maybe gently pushing into the cushions, and the upper ribs moving outwards a little bit more, having more space. Stay here for a little while. Know that you can always move if you need to. Shift and adjust anything that feels not quite right. You can change. The object is to find that perfect place where you feel like the body does not need to move. Feeling completely supported. 1 or 2 final breaths here. And then just release your top hand down by your side. Just allowing it to rest for a moment. And then you're going to use it just to very gently press halfway up. We're going to transition onto the back. So we'll just slide that top hand around, and you can leave the cushion there, so it's going to support your head in a different way now. Take your brick with you, place it to the opposite side, so that as we roll over, we feel a kind of a lift through the back. And a little tangled here. So should feel as though the shoulders drop towards the ground, and you have that lift through the rib cage, the center of the rib cage. You know, if it feels better, you could get rid of the cushion, but if it feels like it's a little bit too high, you could place that pillow under the head again. See if you can find that sense of spaciousness through the back of the neck. And then the arms might go wide, so they sort of reach out from the shoulder sockets. The soles of the feet remain on the ground, knees pointing upwards, or you might like to allow the knees to drop in towards one another. So as we were sort of working the space of the side ribs before, now working the fronts of the ribs, and you might feel that through the breath. As you breathe in, that sort of lift of the front of the rib cage. Maybe also feeling as you breathe in, the back of the rib cage presses down towards the bolster or cushion. Breath to really guide you through the experience. Feeling deeper and deeper into the body, into your own inner landscape. transition to the other side. Just begin to make maybe small movements, maybe pressing into the ground a little bit through the feet. And gradually rolling yourself onto probably the left side. You may need to just push yourself up again just to reset everything that you need. So I'm facing the same direction just so I can continue to watch you. Readjust your, if it felt good to have that little space between the hips, readjust your block. Maybe hook that bottom foot. Make sure you have a sense of length through the side of the body so that you can extend that whole bottom side of the body over your cushions or bolster. Bottom arm extends long and you use that blanket shaped pillow or pillow shaped blanket with a little support for under the head. And then that top arm, like, stretch all the way up so you feel whole right side of your body now opening up. Notice the quality of your presence and attention to your body at this stage of the practice. You're noticing the mind has maybe slowed down or quietens just a little bit. Slowly begin to bring that top arm back down by your side. Just let it rest there for just a moment. And gently and slowly pressing yourself up as easily as possible. So we're going to sit up for a bridge pose now, a supported bridge. So I'll give you a couple of options. If you want it to be like quite a soft support, you might use your cushions or your bolster. If you want a little bit sort of firmer supports, sometimes just depends on kind of what your body needs in the moment, right? Sometimes we just need that real sense of being held and softness. Other times you might feel like a bit more of a release to put something a bit more solid underneath the sacrum. So I'm going to suggest if you have a brick or a book, you just put your little blanket-shaped pillow or pillow-shaped blanket even on top of the block, just so it's firm but not hard. Yeah. And so we'll do the same thing with the bolster or the brick setup. You'll lie onto your back to begin with, and adjust your shoulders as you need. And then just press your feet into the ground as much as you need to lift your hips just above that brick. Resting the hips back and down. It should be really quite supportive. You might feel you need to adjust so that you feel the weight really drop down into the tops of the shoulders here. See if you could maybe adjust the back of your head as well, so the neck feels long. And then a couple options. You could stay just here, maybe arms rest by the side. Or it could be that you really just want to find a little bit more extension, by extending the legs long and maybe even the arms up by past the ears. Feeling a kind of spaciousness and expansiveness through the whole body. This might feel too much on your lower back, in which case just return to a bent knee position. Legs have been in extended position. Just nice and slowly begin to rebend them. Come onto the soles of your feet. Take the arms back down by the sides. And then you very gently press into the feet to gently slide the bolster or brick out from underneath, and just take a moment of pause here. It might even be nice to take the hands onto the lower belly space, so this kind of front side of the pelvis. Just tune into any sensation you feel there along the sacrum, sort of horizontal line across the back of the pelvis. Feel it drop back down to the ground. And then ease yourself onto your side. Slowly back up. And we're going to set up for our final pose now. We'll do a little bit of a guided meditation or nidra in this relaxed place. So with your cushions, you're going to place them just under your knees. So you have a little bit of kind of relief for the lower back here. And then take hold of one of your thighs and just sort of turn the thigh inwards. It's going to create a little space to the back. Body, taking the sitting bones outwards, and just slide the hands along the legs to get all the way to the heel. Just find the center point of the heel then, so the hip socket, hip bone sort of rests into its socket. You'll do the same on the other side, just kind of turning the thigh in. Slide your hands, just picking up sensations, both from the hands and the body receiving the touch of your hands as you go down. I'm going to suggest covering yourself over with a blanket so that you just feel nice and cozy. And if you have maybe an eye mask or another small blanket, you might like to put across the eyes just to create a little bit of sense of a cocooning inwards for yourself. When you come to lying onto the back, take a moment again just to reorganize yourself so that you feel the hips resting evenly on the ground, the shoulders relaxing down and back of the neck, feeling that kind of space and length that we've been emphasizing through the practice. The chin slightly inwards, the eyes close. So take yourself into this place of relaxation, Shavasana. This ultimate rest pose. A place where you can sense the whole of your body. A place where you can sense your own aliveness, a sense of time becoming a little bit slower, a sense that your life is as slow as the landscape. You lie yourself down. Notice the ground molding itself around your form as your body yields into the form of the ground. An awareness of all that is and was you. horizontal meeting of your body with the earth. Sense that the ground beneath you is in contact with the earth, soil, and everything that grows. Noticing slight but perceptible changes in texture, where your skin meets clothing, where the parts of you are gently supported by that earth beneath you. This is the place where the almost imperceptible separation between what is, what was, and what might be meet within you. This is the time. This is your time. Feel yourself laying long, wrapped in the nourishment of your own inner knowing. From here, you can draw from the infinite resource of your own wellspring. From here is a place where inspiration, clarity, and peace arise within you. As you inhale, feel the inspiration and clarity drawing inwards. As you exhale, feeling a sense of whatever no longer serves you, whatever tension that resides physiologically or mentally, gently being released. Breathing in clarity and peace. Breathing out tension. And the whole body, whole of your body, to completely rest. Gently bringing your awareness back into the body, sensing the movement of your breath. You are totally welcome to stay for longer if that feels right. Otherwise, you might start to bring a little bit of movement back. This could be in the form of wiggling or stretching, or whatever feels right. And if you like, you might come gently to a comfortable seated position, like how we first began the practice. And we'll close again just by taking one hand to the center of the chest and the other hand to your belly. Tuning into that place of inner knowing, your wellspring of inspiration, clarity, and peace. Knowing that that is always here for you whenever you need it. And gently bring the palms to touch. We'll bow forward as a gesture of respect and honor towards yourself first, and then outwards towards one another. Namaste. Thank you so much, Rosie.